actually has that set up so that anybody and everybody, whether they are a 301c3 or whether they are an individual, can apply for funds based on their, the needs of the groups in the community. So we can talk about that.
Done. Happy to.
Should you win?
Should we win? Hopefully we do. Again, like we do with every single one of our transactions, and we are your active neighbors. We've got 3 projects. We've completed 2. We're starting on 1, and hopefully this will be the 4th one. But we've always taken our community partners very seriously, and we work to do whatever we can to please them. So hopefully we'll have the opportunity to do that as we've currently done. And with that, I would love to summarize and just say, look, we are 100% district-based team. We all live and work in the District of Columbia. We've got the financial capacity. We're a versatile group. We've done any and every kind of product type in this particular, not only in this immediate neighborhood, but in the district. 72 units of what we know is a need. I mean, we just heard the last group speak to the fact that there isn't any inventory. And given what we are currently seeing in the pipeline, 72 units, it's not even making a dent in the marketplace today. We're going to reclaim the park, which we estimate to be over $1 million worth of investment on our part, $100,000 in community benefits, as well as the fact that we will be contributing tax revenues to the district. And with that, I want to thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to present, and I will take your questions.
Is the only retail going to be that restaurant? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's our concept for now. Yes,
Okay.
correct.
Any other questions from the commission? Jerome, you have a question?
Yeah, I do see, first of all, good for you to point out the park. I think it's important. It's in the neighborhood. And I work for the Mount Vernon Triangle Community Improvement District, so the area you mentioned, along with NOMA, park space is really a big need. If I could make one recommendation, not to be selecting your product beyond any other 3, but to communicate to the community when designing the park itself. I think a lot of inputs into the park space. A lot of people are somewhat sad there's not enough park space, and use being one of the last few parcels available, it would be important that everyone gets a chance to discuss what they want in the park.
Absolutely.
Does anyone else? Oh, go ahead.
So, again, I think the most attractive, to me about this particular proposal is the fact that you're focusing on workforce housing, because that is one of the least attended to and least focused on types of housing in the district. And whenever, we talk about affordable housing, people talk about affordable to who. There's plenty of affordable housing for low and very low income. There's plenty of housing for people at the high end of the spectrum, but there's really a lack of housing for regular working folks that fall into this particular category. So.
And I am sitting right now on 1,000 people wait list. We cannot build it fast enough today. And it is great for us, but it's a travesty for the District of Columbia. So hopefully you all feel the same way, and we can really use public land for public good.
And you said there were copies of your presentation?
Yes, we have handouts.
We have handouts, and we can share electronic copies.
Yes.
Can we receive them? We would have liked to have them before your presentation started.
We will distribute
One of the things I will say, I toured the 7th and P, the Hodge
Yeah.
with roadside, and there are many, many things in that building that are fabulous assets for community and amenities, and I applaud you for the things that are in there. It is a lovely building to look at, so I wish you well on this endeavor as well.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate the opportunity. Have a good night, everyone. Absolutely.
Okay, we are ready for the next presentation. I'm sorry, I can't see anybody. Dark out there.
We're here.
There you go. Are you guys just about? There we go. Okay, while these guys are getting set up, or are you doing a presentation on the wall?
We are, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we are.
While they're getting set up, the three presentations that we hear this evening, is Mr. Goldstein still here? Are you expecting a decision this evening?
Decision from the ANC.
Yeah.
We do not need one this evening. We'd be happy to do it. We'd be happy to take feedback directly to our office, either our form you'd like to present it, and we can continue to have this conversation about what you like about each proposal and draft resolution at your time that's convenient. Our timeline is we select the development team by December the 15th.
Okay.
So we have some time to work through, if you guys want to see, you know, other iterations of their proposals, if you want to work on a public space or different things, you can request that of the teams.
My biggest question for Office of Planning.
Yeah.
In the last 11 projects that you have brought forth to us, where we were asked to make a recommendation, Office of Planning chose, DEMPED chose 0 of our recommendations. Now, are we wasting our time here, or are you going to seriously consider what this ANC and what this community wants?
We will seriously.
Because we're getting very, very tired of coming and going through all these presentations and working with these developers and chatting with them, and then the city office turns around and doesn't do one single thing that we've asked for.
We will absolutely take your input into consideration. We hope that also focuses on pieces of the development programs and not necessarily one team over another. Of course, you all can select a team you all would like to support, but we really hope that you focus on particular aspects that we drive, whoever the awardee is eventually, that we drive them towards what the community wants to see, regardless of who they are. So
Okay.
we will definitely take that input into account.
Okay. And I didn't mean to blow your presentation with that comment.
Oh, no,
but
no.
I just wanted to make sure that we're not going down a path where it's not going to make any difference what we say.
No, I appreciate that, no question about it.
Because you guys work hard and you spend a lot of money on putting together these proposals, and it is most irritating on our side when we come into agreement with a proposal that's really, really good, and then it's not the one that's chosen, and there's no feedback to us as to how that didn't happen, so.
No question about it.
Okay, Dennis, go ahead.
You good then?
Ooh, I'm sorry.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Gilberto Cárdenas, and I am a principal at Argus Group. Thank you for taking the time to let us make this presentation tonight. Seems like we're having some difficulties here. All right. Briefly about Argus and about who we are in our team. We're a local developer. We've been here for about 8 years. Our experience includes private and public partnerships with the District of Columbia. We've done mixed income housing in the District of Columbia. Our equity partner is Potomac Investment Properties. They have been in the District of Columbia for about 85 years. 3 generations. They have done everything from office buildings to residential, you name it, they have done it. As you can imagine, those are the guys helping us with the money. We were a smaller company, so we don't have the resources to do something like the Potomac guys. Our architect is Jane Nelson Architects. She is a local architect. She's been here for several years, also CBE. And we have a company also who's working with us. His name is Bill Hassan, and he's our community liaison for the project. Let's go to the next one. Here you can see who we are, the things that we have done. Next one. Here you'll see some of the projects that we have done. One of the things that you will find with our companies is that we work really hard with the community from the very, very beginning of our projects. And when we say we're going to do something, we actually accomplish that and get it done. If we tell you we're going to do a project with certain number of units, certain benefits for the community, we're well known in the District of Columbia, in the office of Deputy Mayor's office, that we do what we tell you we're gonna do, and we're very proud of that. Here are some of the examples, office building in Connecticut and K Street, new project that we're working on with Ackridge on 17L, residential projects in Ann's Morgan, Georgetown, and Capitol Hill. Let's go to the next one. Hotels, different projects. Let's go to the next one. When we started looking at Capitol Vista, just like when we look at any of the other projects, the first thing we do before we draw a line for any of our projects, we look at the needs and challenges of the community. And that's what we did here. So we met with different people, we started looking at what's really missing in the community. And based on that information is that we actually created our project and put a proposal together. The first thing we found is, as some of the other presenters talked about, there's a lack of affordable housing. There's no, a lot of people know, a lot of people have been displaced from the city. It's difficult to find affordable housing. It's difficult to pay rent. And we know it's an issue in this community, just like it is throughout the city. So we are aware of that. The next one is utilities. People have issues paying utilities. Sometimes they can barely afford their houses, and they get a $200 bill from Petco, and it's difficult, and it takes a dent on the budget of the people of the District of Columbia. The third item that we found is, sometimes you see young people on the streets doing things that they're not supposed to do, and a lot of the times it's because they don't have training, job opportunities. You see, we just heard from the police officers a few years ago. People just hanging out at parks. We know it's an issue and we want to address it with this project, and you're going to hear about it in a few minutes. The last one that we heard from the community is lack of green space, well-maintained public green space. We know it's a need in the community, and we're going to address it with our project. So as I stated before, all of our proposal is based on the needs of the community. I'm going to pass it now to Dennis, and he's going to start telling you how we're addressing each of these issues.
Good evening. Get that next slide, please. And Marge, as you mentioned, in terms of your being concerned about having all your ideas incorporated within a developer's proposal, that's the first thing that we do. I think we better emphasize that. And we're going to show you that. One of the, obviously one of our, key benefits is affordable housing. We're exceeding the district requirement of 30% affordable, we're going to 32%. But we're doing it in a mixed income format because we think that it's important in terms of not only for the affordable housing, but also for you as homeowners to not only have affordable housing and to exceed those targets, but also preserve the value of your homes and also be able to provide all the amenities that we're going to describe. Next slide. Oh, actually, can you go back for a second? And just to mention, there was a presentation about workforce housing, and you can see some of our, the rents for 1-bedroom units, 2-bedroom units. We're exceeding the target for affordable housing, so there is an opportunity for a number of folks who fall the 30%, 50% AMI to be in a high-quality building with all the amenities we're going to discuss. We're proposing what's called a net zero building. It's a highly efficient, environmentally conscious building, and one of the real positives, is reducing the living and utility costs for residents. With a net zero building, what we're proposing is that the tenants will actually have their utility bills reduced to zero, which is a significant economic benefit for the tenants. And we're using existing technology. As a matter of fact, I sent to Commissioner Padro a list of all of these successful net zero projects that are going on across the country for the Commission. Next. when we talk about building amenities, I mentioned, you know, the zero consumption of energy. I already addressed that and how it's going to reduce utility cost to zero. The social benefit, obviously, is to improve the quality of life for tenants. What we're really excited about is that the way we've structured our program, we're going to actually generate a 20 to 30% surplus of energy. So we're talking about putting back into the grid in DC, clean, renewable energy back into the grid. What that also means is that the tenants, both the market and the affordable units, are going to get an economic windfall. So based on how we structure the deal with the solar companies, they're going to get a rebate. They're going to get a nice check, you know, in addition to reducing their utility bill, they're going to get a nice check for that surplus energy. So again, increasing the, you know, the quality of their living.
Do you have any idea how many solar panels you're gonna put?
We do know that in terms of square footage, we're looking at 36,000 square feet of roof area for including our PV panels. We only need 26%, 26,000 square feet. So that surplus is the difference between the 26 and 36,000 square feet. So.
Everyone, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but the room is only booked through 8:30, so please begin to wrap up.
Okay, all right, I'll be very quick. Okay, another, you know, again, when we talk about community benefits, we wanted to really address some of the community needs, and one of them is by some of the retail participants we have. We've actually teamed up with a company called Equity Eats. It's a crowdfunding program that will actually finance locally based community businesses. We're talking about businesses in the community that want to, you know, open up a food and beverage or restaurant, you know, at a location. So it's going to be local businesses financed locally with financing and training. Again, you know, we're talking about, you know, in terms of, you know, community benefit, it's a very organic community development initiative. Our other retail partner is World Central Kitchen. They're gonna, if you're familiar with it, we're also very excited about it. It's a working kitchen. We're gonna train local residents from the community in the culinary arts and help them with job placement with a working kitchen. Again, that'll be also located at Capitol Vista. Talk about green areas and public space. We're going to build and maintain a public space around the site, well lit, secure. We've actually heard the concerns from the community, so we're going to make sure it's a very lit and very well secure space. We've actually created a smaller building footprint to increase the green areas north of the site. We're talking about the site that, not you know, so. And then we're also going to have a dog park, community garden, barbecue area, and one thing we did not mention also is a playground. So again, it's designed to create a community atmosphere, not only for the residents of Capitol Vista, but also for the community. You'll have a place to bring your dog, to bring your children to play, and green some green space. We have an historical program with a gentleman, Bill Hassan, who's going to be working with the community and working with the nearby schools to make them familiar with the occupations and skills with the development process. We've been doing that for years. High school kids love it, and we plan to also incorporate that into this development process.
The program that we have for Capitol Vista consists of 87 units, 28 affordable units, and 14 parking spaces. As Dennis mentioned, we have a neighborhood-oriented development and commercial space. So on that first floor, you're going to see the crowdfunding company, you're going to see World Kitchen, and potentially we're looking at a third one, which could be an ice cream parlor, beauty salon, and a coffee shop, one of those three. We have a strong community program, and throughout all of our projects, we have always put a lot of emphasis in communication, especially with the ANC Commission. Next. To kind of wrap everything that we talked about, we want to tell you that our true vision for the project is to use existing building technologies. We're not reinventing the wheel here. We're talking about solar panels, we're talking about efficient windows, efficient HVAC. We want to put all of that together to improve the living quality and economic well-being of residents, lowering the utility bills, providing affordable housing, while at the same time providing and creating jobs for the community. We are proposing what will be the first net producer of energy in the District of Columbia, which will be a very big milestone, and make Shaw really, the neighborhood of Shaw, a leader in this type of technology. Our team is ready to start the project immediately. We have the financing in place. We have always delivered our projects on time for the District of Columbia, including during the financial crisis in 2008. We have a fast-track development schedule, so we're not going to wait until we get the final execution of rights for the site. We usually start doing design immediately as soon as we get the project awarded. We're a CBE team, and as you just saw throughout the presentation, we are a community-oriented development. Thank you. Any questions?
So I actually work for Pepco. So when I work with net energy and metering on a daily, almost hourly basis for Pepco. So I would hate to have expectations set at a very high level when you say that everyone's going to have a zero bill. Because from my experience, I deal with customers at all income levels with net metering, and sometimes that is not true. So I would pause on that if you say that to everyone, because there's factors like clouds, winter, and nighttime. And so I would hate, just for your marketing and all
Right.
that, because I'm all for
Right,
it, but I wouldn't say to everyone, everyone's going to end up with a zero Pepco.
Right, let me explain why we are confident about that.
Okay.
We are actually contributing, our partner, Potomac Investment Properties, is contributing in kind the roof area of one of the buildings. So we actually have, when I was explaining to you, the roof area size, we actually have in excess of the roof area needed to actually produce net zero. Our engineers, Integral Group, actually sort of determined that we need about 26,000 square feet, 20 to 26,000 square feet of roof area for PVs to get it net zero. We're at 36,000 square feet.
So I'm just saying, just be careful.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I am sorry, I'm going to have to cut you guys short.
Okay.
I'm very impressed with your thoughtfulness in solar paneling and meeting, things that you've heard through other RFPs that you've done on what the community wants, and already incorporating them into your proposal. And I wish you luck, and you will be, you'll get information from us as soon as we've made our decision. I don't mean to cut you real short, but we are, the security guard's here to throw me out.
Oh,
so,
yes, oh, okay.
No, it's 8:45, sir. And I really appreciate you doing your presentation for us.
Thank you. Thank you for your
Thank
time.
you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much.
We'll send you our electronic copies.
Thank
I
you for your time.
appreciate that.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Good to see you. Thank you very
You're
much.
quite welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, disposition of 1336. You're quite welcome.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome. I'll talk to
I'll
you
wait.
toward the end of the week.
Definitely, okay.
Okay. 1336, are you ready? We got only a few minutes, so I need to move on. Not here? Okay, we're moving on. I don't have time.
If you're not presenting, then we're moving on.
Okie dokie. Shaw Bijou, are you here? Okay, you need to race over to that mic and go, because we only have like 5 minutes.
I'll be as quick as possible. Good evening, members of the committee and members of the community. I apologize for my tardiness today. My name is Greg McKeener. I'm the general manager at the project happening at 1544 9th Street Northwest. We are here seeking approval for our liquor license as a stipulated version of that, so that we can, once we get our permits, get the doors open as quickly as possible. A little bit about the restaurant. Myself and the chef are both coming from New York, working in 3 Michelin star fine dining restaurants throughout the city. And we were presented with an opportunity to come to DC and open with a local business owner. If you're familiar with Mortal Beloved or Hell's Bottom Barber, Kelly Gorsuch is one of the investors in the project. Will be a 28-seat tasting menu only restaurant. It's 2 floors. The first floor will be the restaurant and the kitchen space. The second floor will act, half of it will be a bar. It is a waiting area for the guests as they arrive for their meal. The other half we will be eventually turning into a private bar space area. Without holding up, too much time, does anybody have any questions?
So this is in my Centerville member district, and the commission previously approved zoning relief for this project, which was granted by the Board of Zoning Adjustment in October. The operators have agreed to make a number of concessions to minimize negative impacts on the community. Those will be incorporated into a settlement agreement. I move that Advisory Neighborhood Commission 6E support the application, the ABRA application for Shaw Bijou at 1544 9th Street Northwest, and we communicate that support to ABRA and the ABC.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? 600, carry.
Thank you all for
Thank you very much
Just
for
so you know that
coming.
you
I'm
guys
sorry
are
for
the
the
only
race.
people, you're the only people in all of DC that have seen that menu, so if you could please
Oh, I haven't had a chance to
keep
pull
that,
it apart.
keep
I'll get in
that
touch.
under wraps. Thank you very much for your time.
We have one, Susan, 1 minute statement, 1 minute only.
I'm representing roadside development for the development of 8th and L, 1336 8th Street. And we're asking the committee's support. We're going in front of council for our public hearing for disposition and selection on the 5th is the hearing. It's a combined hearing of the council and the committee on the environment. The project is 72. It's a condo project. It has 72 units. 30% are affordable. We have made an agreement with Immaculate Conception to give them 1,400 square feet per the RFP for meeting space, and I imagine that they will talk to you about community space. As well as the 25 parking spaces that they now have will be leveraged and be put over at Roadside City Market for parking during the daytime. That's my comment.
Thank you so very much. We appreciate it. Treasurer?
Yes, ASC,
Oh, I'm sorry.
made a motion that ASC 6E support of the project at 8th and Mill of roadside development.
Second?
Second it. Oh, you second.
No, I was asking for
Oh,
second.
that's it.
Okay, so, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, so,
Thank you.
600. Treasurer?
So ASC 6E has $63,371.21 in our checking account. I move that the commission accept the treasurer's report.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay.
Okay, I move that ASC 6E pay the amount of $125 to Karen Greeley for our November meeting minutes, and that ASC 6E reimburse Commissioner Rochelle Magwell in the amount of $431.46 for the printing of the November newsletter.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. We have no old business that I know of. New business? None. Next meeting will be December the 1st, 2015. Announcements, I know Naomi has.
don't.
Office hours at Compass Coffee this Friday, Councilmember Adams is staff, 8 in the morning till 9:30. Hope to see any of you who want to chit chat. Nothing else.
And I have an announcement, so caroling with the commissioner this year is gonna be December 6th, and it's our 5th anniversary.
Hey.
Yay.
Thank you all for coming. We appreciate it. I'm sorry the end always seems to be a rush, but this meeting is adjourned.
They're really cracking down on us.
Bye-bye. We're gonna move, we have to move, we can't be here.
I wondered if you were going to.
I mean, I can't do it, not having the time.
Oh, see,
We're gonna go back to Ms. Jenkins.
Sorry. Hey, are you okay?